Since the earthquake in Haiti, most of the focus has been on the capital of Port-au-Prince, and with good reason. Over 200,000 are dead, 1 million left homeless with little shelter. But the rural areas have been hit hard too. We wanted to travel to one of these places, cut off from main roads and working ports, unable to get food and supplies needed for a growing refugee population. But the only way to get in quickly is by air. Our journey begins here, in the neighboring Dominican Republic. Unlike the massive undertaking playing out in Haiti's capital, there is a much smaller but equally heroic effort that begins here, just across the border from Haiti. This is the airport at Santiago, and it's become a base for civilian American pilots to shuttle in desperately needed assistance. There's no aid money for this operation. Everything is out of pocket. But many aircraft owners, pilots, and other civilian volunteers have been here for weeks, and their missions go largely unheralded and untold.
So then we're going to take your luggage straight to the plane. We'll take your immigration.
Ken George is a missionary who has lived here in the Dominican Republic for over a decade.
If you file a flight plan, you guys will be getting out probably in about 30 minutes or less.
But since the earthquake in Haiti, he's been nothing short of a miracle worker.
We feel fortunate that we've been able to help people from this end without being doctors ourselves or do something. We can logistically get the doctors in and get the help and the food in.
From sunup to sundown and beyond, he has been coordinating small aircraft runs into remote towns throughout Haiti. If it's reachable within an hour by car from the city, he won't go there.
We are here in Santiago, and we're going on this first flight over to...
Port de Paix, Port of Peace is translated.
And why are you going there?
We're going Port de Paix because it's underserved by Red Cross or any kind of other relief agency. So what we found is that they were calling us saying, we're hungry, we need food, and we've got a bunch of refugees flowing in. So the refugees left Port-au-Prince, especially after the aftershock later that week. Everybody fled, and the road leads up, and not everybody was going to Cap Haitian, so some took off for Port de Paix because it was just, they felt like there was a place for them to stay or live.
Within 48 hours of the earthquake, George had turned this hangar in the Santiago airport into his central command post, handling immigration, pilot coordinates, and shipping and receiving for the tons of local supplies and food that arrive here daily.
And what do you have stacked up over here? Is this some of the stuff
This is
going
spaghetti,
in?
and this spaghetti came from local manufacturers. This Princessa is a local company, and we got this by the load. And it's interesting because we hear food being collected in the States and water. We can buy water here cheaper than they can in the States. Plus, it's already here. We don't have to ship it over. So money is actually much more helpful because we can buy. We're actually helping the Dominican economy by buying food processed and manufactured here in the Dominican Republic. We're buying the food here and shipping it to Haiti, so we're helping two countries that need help rather than just flying stuff over that's bought at a local store in the United States.
Good point, but I do hear people asking, as I travel around as a reporter from time to time, Dan, when I give money to Haiti, when we give money to Haiti, does the money get down where the work is?
And you're going to see that today. You're going to see that the food that we buy wholesale that comes in here by trucks gets loaded on private planes, flown in, all floated, put to food lines, and people get handed the food. So we have no question that it's getting to people. It's not being warehoused and sold later.
George was contacted by an organization that calls itself CARE, Corporate Aircraft Responding in Emergencies. That's a U.S.-based group that gets corporate and private plane owners to donate their time and aircraft to fly aid into areas that are tough to reach. Dozens of pilots and owners come through here, making multiple trips into places where there are no decent roads, much less a proper runway.
Well, what's the strangest thing you've seen so far?
The mule on the end of the runway where we're going, Port de Paix. When first time in, he stood there. We had to lift a wing to go over him and land. Chased him off, but he's been back ever since. He owns it. He's the boss and won't move. But that's.
I'm looking for your personal guarantee that he won't be there.
We'll miss him. We'll miss him. But we're going to go first with your crew, so we'll chase him away.
And back here you've got soda crackers, good
Soda
little
crackers.
soda crackers.
That's because we're sending sardines. You have to send crackers, you send sardines, right?
Out on the tarmac, the planes were loaded and the pilots ready to go. We rode with Chris Rourke, a professional pilot from Boston who's been flying these missions for 3 weeks now.
Well, we're going into a place called Port-au-Paix, and it's a very interesting airport. It's about 2,000 foot long gravel strip, and before we land, we need to do a low pass so that the locals will get all the goats, the cows, the one bull that lives there, and all the people off the runway so that we can land. And you'll see it from the cockpit. When we land, about 2,000 foot down the runway turns into the town market. So if we don't stop in time, it can get bad.
That's not exactly what you want to hear from your airline pilot.
Go ahead, after you. Thanks. Climb up and take a left. You're going to sit in the right-hand seat, the co-pilot seat. Santiago Tower, Pilatus, November 69er, Foxtrot Golf. Clear for takeoff, runway 11, 69er, Foxtrot Golf. Here we go. We're 9,000 climbing to 10.5, and we're showing 111 DME to go. That was the plane behind us with a bunch of supplies. That's one of the things. Air traffic control down here is doing the best they can, but it's not a radar environment. They can't see the planes. They rely on the pilots to report where we are and what we're doing. And I think, I might have these numbers completely wrong, but I heard that like Port-au-Prince averaged about 20 flights a day, and now they're well over 200. I think it's probably only from the air that you can get a sense of the widespread destruction and just the sheer volume of it. On the ground, you see the individual misery, and having put those two together, I'm not the most empathetic person in the world, but I think I might have changed quite a bit from this experience. So we're going to fly back out, do a little teardrop-shaped turn, get nice and lined up, slowed down, and we'll be on the ground in a jiffy.